Capitalism doesn't see us as people, but as consumers. Individual humans have value only by consumption. If they stop consuming, they are worthless for the system, or even a problem. Our attention is a valuable currency, so the company does everything to make sure we stay on their side as long as possible, and that we watch what they want. To achieve it, they need a lot of information, and most people are happy to give it for free. One of the biggest wins for capitalism is that so many people don't see any value in themselves. They think that their data isn't worth anything and they don't have a voice. If it was true, corporations wouldn't try to get your data so desperately.
As you gaze deeper, you feel a focus, an intent.
The global data broker market was valued at $270 billion in 2024 and is expected to reach $470 billion in 2032. Companies which collect and sell or license personal information will only grow. Data brokers collect a lot of information, pay developers to install code that collects data, and use cookies to track online activity. Data comes from social media, apps, internet service providers, advertisers, supermarkets, and of course, other data brokers. In general, the data is anonymous, but with all this information, it is really not that hard to identify a person. Financial institutions and insurance companies use data broker services for identity verification and risk assessments. Scammers, loan companies, and stalkers use their services too. I know, many people think they don't have anything to hide, nothing to fear. This sentiment has two sources. First, giving your data for free and being spied on all the time is so normalized that no one sees any problem with it, and we just make memes. Second, people think that if you have something to hide, you did something bad, like a crime. It is not the case. We all have a lot to hide, and don't even realize it. Your loans, your financial and living situation, yours and your family's health. All of this can be collected and used for company benefits, to sell you products or to limit your access to services, because you aren't profitable enough. Information about your health or sexual orientation can be used by a company to fire you or to not accept your application. You might not be able to get a house because a landlord decided your financial history isn't good enough, or because you are an immigrant. And I don't even want to start with period apps in countries which ban abortion. We all have a lot to hide from corporations and governments.
Heavens forbid. We're all entitled to our secrets.
An AI company, Perplexity, has a new idea how to get your data from search engines and later sell it. The company is working on an AI browser, Comet, which will be tracking users' every move, even outside the app. It will be tracking what users do, buy, and watch. Everything. Like a nice little stalker. The company will sell this data to advertisers, business partners, and other third parties. In general, to everyone who has enough money.
Once you understand the user deeply enough, the user can probably trust you if you show them relevant sponsored content, as long as it's super personalized and hyper optimized for that user. Instagram has shown some stats where the engagement time on their platform reduces if they remove the ads, because that's the level of personalization of the ads. So if any of the AI companies can do that, I think that could be like a thing where brands could pay a lot more money to advertise there.
Yeah.
So that's yet to be explored, but in order to crack that, you need to crack memory properly. That's kind of one of the other reasons we wanted to build a browser, is like we want to get data even outside the app.
Boy, that's the evilest thing I can imagine!
This company isn't the first either. After Google was declared a monopoly by a US federal judge, many companies try to get a piece of the action. Competition is good when you are a client, not when you are the product. Startups such as the browser company, Wavebox, and others want to use AI tools to monetize every single piece of information about you. Sam Altman desperately tries to make OpenAI a private company. If he succeeds, every ChatGPT user will see some ads here and there. The company announced the addition of shopping features to ChatGPT. The software will recommend products to be bought off-site. Users can specify their preferences, which the system will remember and use in future shopping recommendations. Product placement is not sponsored. That distinguishes it from Google Shopping, where you can see sponsored products. It sounds good now, but it is not hard to imagine what will happen when OpenAI decides to take the money from corporations. All data collected from users about their preferences can be worth a lot for brands. Right now, we can observe that a lot of people trust ChatGPT in everything, so why not with products?
People are worried about me relying on AI.
Totally fair to be curious about that. What I'd say is, Kendra doesn't rely on AI to tell her what to think. She uses it as a sounding board, a mirror, a place to process in real time.
Another tool for corporation to sell you overpriced things you don't want and don't need. Do you remember the second biggest embarrassment in the tech bros ecosystem?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Mark Zuckerberg, who is known to really care about your data in a creepy way. He showed a new app. Meta offers users an AI assistant which is powered by Llama 4. The tool is designed not only to assist, but also chat with users. Meta announced on their website that Meta AI app is built to know you. It's more social, so it can show you things from the people and places you care about. Of course, the chatbot doesn't start from zero. It knows you already from Instagram and Facebook. Data harvested there is transferred to a new app. Your data from those apps is also used to feed the AI. You can't turn it off. Only send your concern.
You should leave it, or even destroy it if possible.
Geoffrey Flower from the Washington Post tested the Meta AI and found that the app keeps a copy of everything. Meta's AI remembers everything, records all conversations, and keeps a list of facts about the user in a separate memory file. It is possible to delete chats and content from memory, but not completely. The content still remains in history and could be used in the future. So, if you want to completely remove some information, you need to find the original chat and delete it. Or you can just delete everything. Turn back your assistant to basic settings. But in this case, what is the point of having a personal assistant if you need to reset it each time you share some intimate medical information? It's a classic technique to prevent people from removing data. Just make everything unnecessarily complicated and unclear. This app also uses your chats, voice, photos to train the AI. I repeat, your voice and photos. At the moment, there are no ads in the app, but Zuckerberg said in a conference call 30 April 2025 that he sees a large opportunity to show product recommendations or ads. And of course, some premium services, probably in the form of subscription. What's more, he said, I expect that we're going to be largely focused on scaling and deepening engagement for at least the next year before we will really be ready to start building out the business here. So, Meta wants users to feel connected to and trust their AI assistant before they start to attract them with ads.
Shocking!
Did your Meta AI assistant recommend something because it will benefit you or some corporation? Will you refuse recommendations from an AI assistant? Your digital friend who has an emotional response to your questions and ask you how your day is?
Since we've been through so much together, I guess that makes us best friends. That calls for a discount.
Thanks, Brendan.
Don't worry, you deserve it. You're one tough cookie, and yet so nice.
Manipulating users with this kind of app is really easy.
What? That's the evilest thing I can imagine!
There is another thing about Meta which everybody forgets. A few years ago, Meta offered adult users and children, age 13 and up, $20 monthly payment for installing the VPN Facebook Research app. The system allowed the company to gather all data from the user's activity. Private messages, chats, videos, photos, everything.
Oh.
Recently, Instagram added a new location sharing feature, which is a bit controversial, mostly because some users are reporting that their whereabouts were being shared without their knowledge, despite Meta saying that the update is opt-in.
The fates are here and you didn't tell me!
Meta loves to yap about how the Digital Act, GDPR, or other regulations in the EU makes the experience worse for EU users. I am okay with not having a full experience of Instagram sharing my locations without my knowledge.
Oh, don't look at me. That is all yours.
Meta is known for their innovations and totally not problematic features for Instagram. And now, meet Dutch Interior, the Netherlands band whose name was inspired by white supremacy and was removed from streaming services. At least, this is what Meta AI told you. You know where I'm going with it. Nothing about this is true. Meta AI faked a story about a band and promoted it under some of their reels. How were they supposed to protect themselves from this kind of disinformation? AI can produce thousands of fake stories in a few minutes and flood the internet. We can't talk about privacy and data without talking about the TeaApp. The app isn't new. It has been on the market for a long time, but recently became viral on TikTok. The app has more than 6 million users. TeaApp is only for women, so to access and make an account you need to upload your ID and selfie. Users can talk about men whom they have dated and report their red flags. Why does everything need to have an app? The app was hacked and personal data like driver's licenses from tens of thousands of women was stolen, and women were put in danger. The company claimed that only the users who signed before February 2024 were affected. The company promised to remove personal data after checking the users, but they didn't do it. After the TeaApp went viral, a new app was made, but not for women, for men. TeaOnHer was a copy of TeaApp, so similar that it has the same security problems. TechCrunch reports that the app exposes sensitive personal information, including government IDs, driving licenses, emails, and selfies.
I'm in danger!
Maybe I should check how the US government treats personal data. Director of National Intelligence did
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Tulsi Gabbard said that she used AI to decide which files should be declassified in the government's investigation into the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Some of the files can contain private information, like social security number, birth date, birthplace, belonging to former congressional staffers and others who are still living. At least, they don't use AI to write documents. Not understanding terms and conditions, especially in the AI world, can have really bad consequences. South Korean actor Simon Lee signed a contract with an AI company and then realized that his face was used to advertise questionable health cures on Instagram and TikTok. In 2022, British actor and model Conor Yates signed a 3-year contract only to later find that his AI avatar was used for political advertisement. The contract didn't permit this type of usage of the actor's face, but, well, oops. Important to notice that this type of digital copy looks much more realistic than a traditional deepfake. The actors are recorded on green screen. They perform facial and body movement and record voices. Thanks to AI, this data can be processed to create a more realistic advertisement. Selling a digital copy to an AI company can be really dangerous. You literally lose the right to your face. Your avatar can be used for political propaganda, scam advertising, or adult content. The contracts are full of tricks and are overcomplicated on purpose.
Worst thing you can do to a human. Rip their identity out of them.
Imagine what would happen if a corporation which has 1,000 faces went bankrupt. What happens to all this database? Who will protect it from inappropriate use? You know what? You don't need to imagine it. Just think about what happened with genetic testing company 23andMe. The company makes DNA tests for clients. They have a massive database with very sensitive information. The company promises to protect the data, but there is no law in the US which applies to direct-to-customers companies, only to health insurance companies. So, in general, new owner can do a lot with clients' genetic data. What's more, the company already shares customers' data with pharmaceutical giant GSK to develop new drugs. Customers pay for tests, then they are sold to another company. Of course, users need to consent to this. But did they read an update to terms and conditions? Do you?
Nope. Ain't no way.
Replica Studio and SAG-AFTRA in 2024 announced an AI voice agreement. The contract allowed AAA game studios and other companies working with Replica to use SAG-AFTRA actors.
Corps have long controlled our lives, taken lots, and now they're after our souls.
The actors protested and wanted to regulate the use of AI in industry. Fortunately, Replica Studio was put down. Replica Studio isn't the only AI company which wants to work with SAG-AFTRA. There are more. Sony is experimenting with AI to create versions of their characters, like Aloy. We know this thanks to some tipster who shared a video with The Verge. The video was quickly removed from YouTube due to copyright claims. In the video, Aloy answered some questions and showed some facial expressions. It looks and sounds bad. A really uncanny valley.
Yuck.
Ashley Birch, who plays Aloy in Horizon series, responds on TikTok.
Hi. I wanted to talk about AI Aloy. I saw the tech demo earlier this week. Gorilla reached out to me to let me know that the demo didn't reflect anything that was actively in development. They didn't use any of my performance for the demo, so none of my facial or voice data. And Gorilla owns Aloy as a character. So all that said, I feel worried. And not worried about Gorilla specifically or Horizon or my performance or my career specifically even. I feel worried about this art form, game performance as an art form. We are currently on strike. SAG-AFTRA is on strike against video games because of AI. Because this technology exists, because we know that game companies want to use it, we're asking for protections. So currently what we're fighting for is that you have to get our consent before you make an AI version of us in any form. You have to compensate us fairly, and you have to tell us how you're using this AI double. And I feel worried not because the technology exists, not even because game companies want to use it, because of course they do. They always want to use technological advancements. I just imagine a video like this coming out that does have someone's performance attached to it, that does have someone's voice or face or movement. And the possibility that if we lose this fight, that person would have no recourse. They wouldn't have any protections, any way to fight back. And that possibility, it makes me so sad. It hurts my heart. It scares me. I love this industry and this art form so much. And I want there to be a new generation of actors. I want there to be so many more incredible game performances. I want to be able to continue to do this job. And if we don't win, then that future is really compromised. And I'm genuinely not trying to put any game company specifically on blast, certainly not Guerrilla, because again, I don't think the technology isn't the problem. Game companies wanting to use the technology isn't the problem. The problem is that we are currently on strike and the bargaining group will not agree to give us common sense protections. So yeah, I mean, I support the strike. I've always supported the strike. I believe fighting is what we have to do to protect the future and the longevity of this career that we all love so much. And luckily, there are union contracts that currently exist that give all the protections that we are asking for that any game company can sign right now. There's the interim, the tiered, and low budget agreement contracts available right now for any game company to sign. So that's it. I love games. I love game performers. I love game performances so much. And I believe that we deserve to be protected. So I'm gonna keep fighting. And if you're in the games community, I hope you do too.
Amelia Tyler, beloved narrator from Baldur's Gate 3, spoke to Eurogamer about AI. I've had some really bad experiences, like going into somebody's stream where they put up text-to-speech and given their chat control of it. I went on this stream because somebody gave me a heads up and I went on and heard my own voice reading rape porn. That's the level of stuff we had to deal with since the game came out. And it's been horrible, honestly. Lack of regulation with the use of AI is a big problem everywhere. And well, people like Sam Altman don't care about it. This is what he said. Dynamic response is the only way to responsibly figure out the right guardrails for new technology. The right things to do is to watch this incredible new wave fall out and respond very quickly as the problems emerge. The problem with AI, which needs fast resolutions and strong regulations, are right now. Sam, like a good American propagandist he is, urges the Congress to not regulate AI because of big bad China. This is nothing new. American corporations and politicians used this boogeyman strategy before. Created the enemy to scare the public and then push harmful and exploiting practices. At the same time, when Altman started to worry about China, nearly 20% of OpenAI worked in sales, and the company tried to switch from non-profit to for-profit business.
There you have it.
OpenAI quietly deleted a policy prohibiting its software's use for military purposes. It's probably just a coincidence. EU AI Act bans some AI applications like real-time and remote biometric identification systems such as facial recognition in public spaces or classifying people based on behavior, social economic status or personal characteristics. Facial recognition tools are really controversial. They can be used for political reasons to recognize protesters. In Georgia, the country, calm down America. There are mass anti-government protests against Russian influence in the country. The government uses facial recognition cameras against protesters during the protest and after, in court. In some cases, the images are the only evidence of guilt. Questions regarding the accuracy of the person's identification in the recording are disregarded by the courts. The watchdogs emphasize that this can be seen as an intimidation tactic to scare protesters. In some cases, the footage shows a camera following the protester in real time, zooming in on a document the person was reading. In March, the Hungarian government, otherwise known as Putin puppets, voted for banning Pride. The amendment imposes a fine on the organizers and participants. They also gave themselves right to use facial recognition tools to identify participants. In the US, like always, corporations use AI to take advantage of consumers. Dynamic pricing isn't anything new. We see it all over the world, in Uber or Lyft. The price is higher during some mass events. Kroger allegedly plans to use facial recognition tools and electronic shelves in their groceries to profile and target customers with higher prices. Kroger denies those allegations. At the same time, the company started a partnership with AI company Intelligent Note, focused on pricing and personalization strategies. In general, creating a biometric database of customers' habits based on gender or age on status can help corporations to prepare ads and sales to make customers buy more. What's more, they can track customers' typical movements and expose more expensive products on the way, hide cheaper options with hope they don't find them and take the expensive one instead. They can redesign the store to force customers to spend more time in it, which can contribute to increased purchases. Selling your face is one thing. Another is when someone takes your face without permission and creates a deepfake. Do you want to hear something gross? Well, you don't have a choice. A startup, Gen Nomis, by AI Nomis from South Korea, created a website with their special software, Nudify. Yes, they really call it like that. Users can create pornography images. The database included AI-generated images of random women, children, and celebrities portrayed as children. Users can buy or sell pictures on the marketplace. The database wasn't protected at all, no password or encryption. The database was found by cybersecurity researcher Jeremiah Fowler, who immediately sent a message to the company. The database was restricted, but he didn't get any answer from the company. From information provided by Security Hero, the total number of deepfake videos online in 2023 is 95,820, representing a 550% increase over 2019. According to their information, 99% of deepfake depict women. South Korean singers and actresses constitute 53% of the individuals featured in deepfake pornography and are the most commonly targeted group. 1 in every 3 deepfake tools allow users to create deepfake pornography.
Oh, hell.
1,522 American males were asked if they felt guilty about consuming deepfake pornography. 74% of users don't feel guilty about it. They explain it by saying that the recording is only for them and isn't real, so it can't hurt anyone. Consent and possibility of leaking of videos don't cross their mind. They don't care that they give someone's face to the algorithm. The survey also revealed that 20% of participants have contemplated learning how to create deepfake pornography. What is interesting, 73% of survey participants would want to report to the authorities if someone close to them became a victim of deepfake porn. 68% indicated that they would feel shocked and outraged by the violation of someone's privacy and consent in the creation of deepfake pornographic content. Some of them understand that this type of video can be harmful for women and is not consensual. But they do it anyway. They see only the women close to them as humans. Others are just an object to exploit.
Yuck.
In March 2025, Wilson Jones, a teacher with the Corinth School District in Mississippi, was arrested for using AI to generate sexually exploitative videos of students. Videos including 8 female students between the age of 14 and 16. Jones allegedly generated the AI footage of the students by using photos taken from their social media and uploading them to the generative software.
Yuck.
South Korean journalist Ko Narin, I hope I pronounced this correctly, I'm sorry, published an article about Telegram's chat rooms dedicated to sharing pornographic deepfakes of young women and girls from universities, high schools and middle schools. Individual chat rooms have thousands of members. Thousands of women and young girls deactivated their social media in fear that they become a target. Women and young girls suffer the cyberbullying much more than men, and they are pushed out from online spaces. After the article, many women's rights activists started their own investigations to find more chat rooms, protests to force the government to do their job and ensure the safety of women. Social pressure worked, and South Korean lawmakers criminalized possessing or watching sexually explicit deepfake images and videos, with penalties set to include prison terms and fines. According to the Sexual Violence Prevention and Victims Protection Act, for saving or watching deepfake porn, a person could face up to 3 years in jail or be fined to 30 million won. Whereas a person who makes pornographic deepfakes with the intention of distributing them could face up to 5 years or a fine of 50 million won. The English government takes deepfake porn seriously. The government introduced a new offense. Perpetrators could be charged for both creating and sharing those images. The Danish government wants to give their citizens the copyright to their body, face and voice. This decision strengthens protections against deepfake. In the EU, we have an AI Act, which contains regulations of the use of AI. Content that is either generated or modified with the help of AI, images, audio or video files, for example deepfakes, need to be clearly labeled as AI generated so that users are aware where they come across such content. Generative AI has to be designed to prevent it from generating illegal content. I think that totally is happening. At this moment, deepfakes is classified as a limited risk, so it has less regulations compared to high-risk systems like medical AI or facial recognition. The discussion about deepfakes ongoing in New Zealand, where politician Laura McClure showed in Parliament a manipulated naked image of herself to demonstrate the potential danger posed by deepfakes.
Hey everyone, so I just did something a little bit crazy and something I never thought I would actually do here in Parliament. I held up this. It is a deepfake that I made of myself in a matter of minutes, just on the internet. It was actually very, very easy to do. So today in the general debate in the House, I brought to the attention of all the other members of Parliament about how easy it is to do this and how much abuse and harm it is causing, particularly for our young Kiwis and more likely to be our young females.
It is worth noting that women politicians are more often targeted with pornographic deepfake than men's politicians.